Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Puel has run the changes as well, 4 in total, with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albright also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Burrell has rung the changes as well, 4 in total with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albrighton also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's a problems for being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Burrell has run the changes as well, 4 in total with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albrighton also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But home goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Burrell has run the changes as well, 4 in total with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albrighton also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Leicester City, having done the double over the Foxes last season. But it's a problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home. Goals. Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of...
There's some exciting football commentary action coming up on this service with 888 Sport. Check out the extensive range of
Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian...
There's some exciting football commentary action coming up on this service with 888 Sport. Check out the extensive range of betting. There's some exciting...
the double over the Foxes last season, but it's a problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly...
There's some exciting football...
is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup. A couple of other changes as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Burrell has run the changes as well, 4 in total with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albrighton also get starts.
There's some...
Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace entertain Foxes last season. But it's a problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been...
There's some exciting football
as well from the 3-2 defeat at West Ham. Vicente Guaita makes his debut in goal in place of Wayne Hennessy, while Martin Kelly replaces the suspended James Tompkins. Claude Burrell has run the changes as well, 4 in total with the side beaten at home by Spurs. Harry Maguire and Jamie Vardy both back though. Christian Fuchs, Mark Albrighton also get starts. The men to make way: Kelechi Iheanacho, Vicente Iborra, Johnny Evans and Ben Chilwell. Kick-on fast approaching at Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace...
There's some exciting...
over the Foxes last season, but it's a problems for Roy Hodgson, particularly at home, goals being an issue, and that makes the team news all the more relevant because Wilfried Zaha is of course suspended. He's been replaced by Jordan Ayew in the lineup.
There's some exciting...
Alvin Martin. I mean, it's a little bit back down to earth. I want to know where you think very quickly Spurs are at, because 4 defeats in the Premier League, a quarter of their games they've lost so far this season, Spurs, and yet there's still a lot to love about them.
I think that's because they've responded so well to when they get a defeat, they go on a run, Adrian. But you know, this is a real good opportunity, isn't it, to get another 3 points on the board. Look forward to the draw, the Champions League draw on Monday. I'm looking at Lucas Moura and where the goals are going to come from, because that's going to be really important. We always talk about Harry Kane. He produces year in and year out, but he needs some more support. And I think Son has really become increasingly influential for Spurs. He's on the bench today. He's at 5 in 10, but he also supplies and he runs behind people. So he gives them another dimension. But I'm looking at Lucas Moura, scored at the Nou Camp. I'm looking at him becoming a big player for Spurs. If Spurs are going to challenge titles and trophies, they need people who can play at the very highest of the game and go to places like Manchester City and Arsenal, Liverpool, and score really important goals. So Lucas Moura's there. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him, because he has to become, I think, if Spurs are going to be successful, that sort of player for Spurs.
And what about, very quickly, is Sean Dyche under any pressure whatsoever?
No, Adrian, he'll be able to get more out of the players than Sean Dyche, or indeed knows the players as well as he does.
They're doing the old Hi-Ho Wolverhampton here to the Jeff Beck song. Always a fantastic atmosphere. They've been doing this for years and years and years. The fans absolutely love it. The noise, I'm told, here when they scored the second goal against Chelsea was like never before. They've never heard anything like it. Fantastic from the Wolves fans, who always make it big. The atmosphere here at Molineux. Really looking forward to seeing Morgan Gibbs-White and start today. Started against Chelsea, was left out last time out, the teenager. He's done an interview in the programme, some really amazing words from him as Wolves get into their huddle ahead of kick-off. Bournemouth about to get into theirs as well. But Morgan Gibbs-White in an attacking role, for somebody who's given licence to go forward, and for somebody who's had 30 odd 40 appearances, mostly as substitute in the Championship and the Premier League. He hasn't actually got a senior goal yet, Morgan Gibbs-White, so maybe that will come sooner rather than later. So looking forward to seeing that. And Johnny Otto back at left wing back. He can be lethal and very effective for Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's back in the side after injury today, and he's up against Jordan Ibe, who's found it very, very difficult at times playing at right wing back. I'm quite surprised that he gets the nod there over David Brooks, who is on the bench. But we are about to kick off. It's Bournemouth in their home kits who will get us underway. 2 good footballing sides, so theoretically we should have a really good football match, and hopefully the conditions won't affect the quality of the football too much. But it's Ryan Fraser who's about to get us underway. Remember, the England striker Callum Wilson on the bench for Bournemouth this afternoon, ready to come back but not ready to be risked from the off by manager Eddie Howe. Wolves are all lined up and ready, the fans are all ready as well. And off we go. We are underway. We're going to take you round the grounds with all the goals as they go in on Match Day Live on TalkSport this afternoon. And at 5:30, there's yet another live commentary from the Premier League. It's Fulham against West Ham.
They've got men forward here as Kenny goes for goal from 25 yards.
What the fuck?
It's on the back post. Brilliant run from Antonio. West Ham have the lead.
There's some exciting football commentary action.
As if he's got a bit of grass on his yoke, so that might be.
Yeah, it's a 5:30. Laura Woods will be your host.
He's walking off. He's slowed right down. This could be curtains already. He's certainly not going to be available for the corner. I suppose Johnny Evans would be the obvious replacement. That's who.
Is this station TalkSport already bought you Manchester City 3, Everton 1 to take City back top of the table over on TalkSport 2 right now. It is Palace against Leicester. Full commentary. Let's take you around the grounds though on TalkSport. To Wembley first of all, early stages, Alvin Martin and Ian Abrams.
And we played 90 seconds, Spurs 0, Burnley 0. Spurs know what they've got to do this afternoon, break down what will be a resolute Burnley defence with 5 at the back. It is a horrible afternoon, it is up and down the country, Alvin Martin. Not the sort of afternoon really I want to be playing at the back.
Well, I don't know. I'd love to be playing in any sort of weather again, Moose. I miss it terribly, mate. But no, looking at the formations, you're right. They've gone for a back 5, and they are going 5-4-1, aren't they? You know, they're just going to be sitting back, playing long up to Barnes, who's got a thankless task really. He's not really going to get too much support too often this afternoon.
Absolutely not. Spurs at the moment haven't really laid a glove on Joe Hart or tested him yet, and of course neither have Burnley, who've just given the ball away, and Hugo Lloris will take a goal kick here. Just over 2 minutes gone. Spurs 0, Burnley 0.
Yeah, it's omens are good here at Molineux, because inside the first 2 minutes both sides have been in the opposition box, but 0-0. Let's go to the John Smiths. Here's TalkSport's Graham Courtney.
Yeah, same here. It's Huddersfield 0, Newcastle 0, but both of these sides, they're going forward. They talk about a 6-pointer. Well, they've both got 6-pointers next week. We're a chance here for Huddersfield. Chance is going to come in from the left-hand side. It's Lauren Butler, but it actually just goes along the 18-yard line and gets cleared away by Newcastle United. Incidentally, Newcastle playing in their really smart, it's a maroon and dark blue hooped shirt, an iconic shirt for all Newcastle United fans. They're looking really, really smart in it as well. But it's a good attacking start from both sides. We have got approaching 3 minutes on the clock here at the John Smiths. It is Huddersfield 0.
In the lead against Peterborough, and in the Scottish Premiership it's St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1 is the latest score from McDermott Park. Here is Sissoko. Referees played the advantage because there was a flag up on this near side, but the referees letting the game flow as Spurs have possession. Alderweireld. Top tier is no longer in use here at Wembley Stadium. It's a reduced capacity with the licence that Tottenham had to reapply for, as they continue to stay here at the National Stadium. There's elsewhere, they're in the Championship, a goal at Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers, Middlesbrough, Henry Moran.
QPR 1, Borough 0. Really nicely worked goal. Cross in from the left. There was Pavel Shoek to bundle the ball past Darren Randolph in front of the Middlesbrough supporters. Good start from QPR this. QPR 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Steve McLaren against his former side. No win in 4 for Queen's Park Rangers. Middlesbrough, well, they still have the best defence in the Championship, and Tony Pulis, I'm sure, will want to see his side look to respond ASAP in West London. Here we are, though, at Wembley Stadium, and we welcome listeners, wherever you may be, across the world, to the BBC World Service, who join our 5 live coverage here at Wembley Stadium. Come on, you Spurs, is the chant. 0-0. We're yet to have a chance so far for either side. It's Trippier to take the free kick. It's curling its way in from this near side the left off his right foot, and it drops out for a goal kick. And in the commentary box alongside me today, for the benefit of those listening on the BBC World Service, is Nigel Reo-Coker.
It's been a quiet start to the game so far. You know, both teams have had little spells of possession where they're keeping it, being very comfortable in possession, but there hasn't been that many balls in behind for any threatening runs in behind, and I think that both teams are still in the process of just feeding each other out.
So much potential, trying to steer it through. Brilliant pass, can he finish it? Well, it was a bit desperate, but what a good challenge.
Well, Tottenham are the only side in the Premier League who are yet to draw in the top flight this season, and in fact last week, when they beat Leicester, it was the 20th consecutive top-flight match without sharing the spoils, and actually broke an 88-year-old club record.
So there's goals in the game then?
Well, if ever there was a curse of the commentator, that was it. Here is Dele Alli, just outside the penalty area. They shared the spoils last season, though, Wood with a 90th minute equaliser for Burnley in a 1-1 draw at Sissoko, central area. Tottenham are playing from right to left, corner possession, very congested, up towards Brady, lays the ball off towards Cook, and then out towards Taylor on that far side, the left. Brady's made the run, cut out by Trippier, helped out by Sissoko. The England international Trippier now 6 yards inside his own half, plays it back out to the right touchline for Sissoko, and back with Trippier, stands on the ball on the halfway line, and now to Ben Davies. Full-time then, Glasgow-Leon in the European rugby, Jamie Lyle.
Yes, indeed, Glasgow Warriors have kept pace with Saracens at the top of Pool 3. 4 points adrift they are after a 21-10 victory. And what a hard-fought victory it was over a stuffy French side. Nico Matawalu, their Fijian flyer, got Glasgow off and running with 2 first-half tries. Adam Hastings converted 1 and added 2 penalties. Jean-Marc Dusan replying with 3 points of his own before the break. Back came Dion after the interval, though. Pierre-Louis Barassi crossing for a try. Dusan converting from the touchline, and the resistance only really ended with a red card for Etienne Oosthuizen for striking the face of Adam Hastings with 10 minutes to play. Hastings kicked a penalty to seal the victory. Glasgow victors here by 21 points to 10.
Charlton have just had a player sent off. They're at home to Wimbledon today at the Valley as Tottenham will attack. Lamela crosses. Could have easily been a handball there off Tarkowski from our long distance. It struck his body. It goes out for a corner kick. It was a cry, wasn't there, from maybe it was more the supporters than the players, but it wasn't deliberate anyway. His hands were down by his side. Corner kick. By the way, Charlton have won 5 of their last 6, but they're down to 10 men, and they're down to against Wimbledon in that London derby. Corner kick then for Tottenham, far side the right, curled in, headed away by me. It's going to come out to Danny Rose. Last goal was against Burnley. Plays it forward. Kane able to turn. Shot right-footed, charged down. Comes back to Davis. Every outfield player in the Burnley half. Out towards Rose. High up the pitch. It rolls up his chest. He waits for it to settle. Back to his feet. And behind him is Dele Alli. Skip had made the run, not spotted by Ali. Goes in field. Here is Skip. Lays it back into the centre circle to Alderweireld. Burnley back off.
From a tactical point of view, you see how compact and tight Burnley are being. No gaps in between their back four and their midfield, and forcing Dele Alli to have to come to the other side of their midfield to get the ball. That's what you want to do. You don't want Tottenham to find Dele Alli in that pocket of space in behind the midfield.
Davis plays a short ball towards Lucas Moura, who's able to turn. But again, they're playing in front of Burnley at the moment. They're having to be very, very patient, working hard off the ball as Sissoko is forced out wide on that right-hand side. Trippier is ahead of him. Lamela back towards Sissoko. Spurs go back, and we'll go to Molineux. Pat Murphy.
It's 0-0 here, but Bournemouth and Wolves both playing pleasing football. King for Bournemouth closest. Blocked by Cody, and the keeper, Prasicio's legs, almost in there for a first goal. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 0.
Once again, Tottenham seeing a lot of the ball, but then being forced back into their own half. Huddersfield, Newcastle, Juliet Farrington.
Where it's 0-0, but it's an interesting game, these two playing at tempo. Huddersfield going closest from Chris Lerver's corner, but sliced over from Departure, who was in a really good position from around 8 yards out. This all after Newcastle failed to deal with a cross from Haderjanai. Huddersfield 0, Newcastle 0.
The Boundary Park in League 2. Oldham Athletic have just taken the lead against Bury, and also in League 2, Lincoln City are leading Morecambe by a 1-0, and with MK Dons the leaders, their game at Newport postponed. Lincoln City, who've lost 1 of their last 10, will actually go top if they were to win that game at Sincil Bank, and they're 1-0 up. 0-0 here at Wembley Stadium. Crystal Palace, Leicester. John Southall.
Same scoreline, Palace 0, Leicester 0. Little too excitable for Ndidi for Leicester with a wild volley on the left of the area. He's screwed wide. Conditions are terrible. Driving rain. The ball is getting held up on water on the pitch. Palace 0, Leicester 0.
Manchester City 3, Everton 1 was the result earlier, and Manchester City have gone back to the top of the Premier League table. Tomorrow, Manchester United take on Liverpool, and the game from Anfield is live on 5 Live. We're going racing now. It's the international hurdle. John Hunt.
Continuing filthy conditions, they're turning for home here. 1 flight of hurdles left to jump. Brain Power has just moved his way to the front in the hands of Nico de Bonville, going on from Vision Day Flow and Silver Streak. Behind them, Old Guard, We Have a Dream and Western Rider. Somerville Boy, a winner at the Cheltenham Festival last spring, is well beaten off. That's the second poor race he's run in succession, having run badly at Newcastle. Big question mark over him. The new one's been pulled up. Maybe retirement beckons for him, but up at the business end of the race, Brain Power is climbing the hill to the line with a 3 to 4 length lead. Brain Power goes on from Silver Streak and Western Rider. Brain Power, the winner, for Nicky Henderson, the trainer, and Nico de Bonville, the jockey.
And we'll get you those SPs as soon as we can, and of course there will be reaction in Sports Report from Cornelius and John later on, of course, with Mark Chapman from 5 o'clock. A corner kick to Burnley. There's a delay in taking it. Meanwhile, there's been a goal at Molineux. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Jimenez of Wolves. It's a fluff shot, actually, by Jota, which went across the penalty area and wrong-footed the Bournemouth defence. Easy tap in for Jimenez. Wolves 1, Bournemouth 0.
Tottenham will look to clear that corner kick as the ball is played by Lennon. And then played forward to Brady, pops up on the right-hand side for Burnley, on the half volley, clips over the cross, good header out by Davis under pressure, comes out to Lennon, and has a little bit of support on this near side from Westwood, curling ball in from Brady, And once again, Davis at full stretch to head the ball behind for a corner kick. Rotherham 0, Reading 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Oldham have got a second goal at home to Bury in League 2. At the Stadium of Light in League 1, Sunderland, who are unbeaten in 11 matches in the league, are behind to Bristol Rovers, who this week dispense with the services of Dowell Clark, their manager. And you're up to date on BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. With 13 minutes played, good spell of pressure in the freezing rain for Burnley, with Brady to take a corner kick on this near side the right. This will be an in-swinger off his trusty left foot. Very crowded 6-yard area. It's delivered towards the far post, and then it bounces away off Charlie Taylor and out for a goal kick.
It's been really good play by Burnley so far. You can see that their game plan is they're trying to frustrate Tottenham. And for a period of play there, they frustrated Tottenham one time in possession to make them have to go all the way back to their goal. And now that they're getting a few chances, the game is slowly starting to open up.
Yeah, it's been a slow start to this game as Joe Hart punts that downfield. A long ball away, which Alderweireld on the edge of his penalty area had to head away from goal under pressure from Ashley Barnes, as we'll go to Vicarage Road, Watford, Cardiff City. Vicky Sparks.
Goalless Delafeu, who's curled wide for Watford. At the other end, Josh Murphy has had a penalty shout turned down for Cardiff, tumbling in the box. Watford 0, Cardiff 0.
Peterborough have equalised at Shrewsbury. They were involved in a 4-4 draw in the Cup in midweek, and 1-1 already, and Hull City are leading Brentford by a goal to 0. Hull, who've only lost 1 of 7. Brentford in really poor form, 1 win in 15, and they're behind at Hull City in the Championship. There's Tottenham with Trippier over the halfway line. White shirts, navy shorts, gets a free kick.
That long goal kick by Joe Hart not too long ago could have been a great assist.
That's his game, isn't it?
He got plenty of distance on it, didn't he?
Got a great amount of distance on that one.
Ball chipped forward, looking for the run of Lucas Moura. He's in round the back, he's forced out wide on the right-hand side, and he's unable to clip it back across the face of goal. It was Tarkowski who prevented him from doing so, and Tottenham will win a corner kick. 15 minutes played, 0-0.
That's the threat and the quality that Tottenham have. You know, they have the ability to play that ball in behind, and they've got willing runners, players with great pace and a great eye for making the right run at the right time.
That's the voice of Nigel Reo-Coker, who is with us here at Wembley Stadium. 0-0, Tottenham against Burnley. 5 Live in the World Service. In comes that corner kick. It's an outswinger. It comes to Dele Alli, edge of the penalty area. Plays it inside. Lamella has a shot, strikes the chest of me. Cleared away then by Cork, and out of play it goes for a throw. Sean Dyche standing in that technical area, shouting. That gravelly voice of his getting those instructions across to his players as Tottenham with the throw. Davis to Sissoko, comes in between the 2 central defenders, and his ball actually goes away from Lamella and will be picked up in his penalty area. All in yellow by Joe Hart as Port Vale lead Cheltenham by a goal to 0, and Gillingham 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1 is the latest score in League 1. But in the Premier League, Wolves lead Bournemouth by a goal to 0. Palace, Huddersfield, Watford, and here at Wembley, those games are all goalless. Lucas heads it into the path of Harry Kane. Tarkowski, though, will go back to Joe Hart, and Joe Hart will clear downfield. Goal now at Vicarage Road. Vicky Sparks.
And goal for Watford. Gerard Delafeu back in the side today. A lovely individual effort. Picked up the ball midway through his own half, darted into the penalty area, stepping past Cardiff defenders. Doucouré wanted it to his right. Delafeu didn't need him and slotted it past Etheridge. Watford 1, Cardiff 0.
Cardiff City, who are yet to win away from home this season, and well, one of the 14 points, 4 points clear of Huddersfield and the relegation zone. But Watford in front at Vicarage Road as Lamella plays a long ball into the penalty area, and Lucas Moura, well, he had to improvise, he had to take it first time. It dropped over his right shoulder and he hit it left-footed, and he's guided it just wide of the left-hand post.
Again, that's the quality that Tottenham possess. If you give players time on the ball, they have the ability with the players that they have to hit you with, to kill you with one pass. It was a great ball in behind, great run by Moura, just unlucky with the finish.
He actually hit it with his other foot, looking at it again. Yeah, he hit it with his right foot as it came in from the... I thought he struck it with his left.
Yeah, it was great improvisation.
Yeah, it certainly was, and he was very close. Of course, he got the all-important equaliser in the Nou Camp in midweek, and ball over the top almost paid dividends for Tottenham, but it's still 0-0.
I was just about to say as well, if you were Sean Dyche, you'd be very happy on how your team has started this game in the first 17 minutes or so, but the problem that they've got is like that moment there that just happened, that Tottenham have the quality to, you know, kill you with one pass, and it's keeping these players focused and making sure that they're concentrating as long as this game possesses.
Free kick, Graham Scott has given a free kick and there's a stoppage in play. Danny Rose is the player who's down injured. Of course, Burnley have switched to 3 at the back with the wing backs. A comfort blanket gives you reassurance, does it, when you're in that situation, Nigel?
Yeah, definitely, sure. You know, you want to try and keep the pockets of space short and tight. You don't want Tottenham to be getting their good players like Dele Alli in behind your back four. So you want him, as soon as he gets on possession of the ball, you want one of your players to be able to shut him down.
It was Barnsley who's almost crushed Danny Rose as they both fell to the floor. Danny Rose was underneath that and would have felt the effects of that. Blackburn Rovers lead Birmingham by 1-0 at Ewood Park, and in the Scottish Championship, Inverness lead Dundee United by 1-0, as we will go to Kilmarnock and Roddy Forsyth.
Well, we've played quarter of an hour, just more than that, in ceaseless hail, and we've just suddenly seen a couple of chances at each end, with Stewart sweeping over for Kilmarnock after a wonderful Jones run, and then Kenny Miller, of all people, missing an open goal at the other end of the field, which is why it's come Dundee nil.
Southend 1, Accrington Stanley 0 into the Championship. Bolton Leeds United, Will Perry.
17 minutes down, it's still Bolton 0, Leeds 0, end-to-end stuff, but not a lot to tell you about really. The only real chance, Pablo Hernandez, a header at the far post, tipped over the bar by the Bolton keeper Ben Arnick. Bolton 0, Leeds 0.
And we will stay in the Championship, Loftus Road, Henry Moran.
Still QPR 1, Middlesbrough 0, third minute goal from Pavel Showick, the difference between the sides. Middlesbrough starting to come into this game, no win for them in the last 3. They'll be desperate to try and get that equaliser sooner rather than later. QPR 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Motherwell have got a second goal at St Johnstone. It's 2-0 now that they lead. Back to the Championship, Aston Villa, Stoke City. Two sides on decent unbeaten runs. Mike Williams.
Still goalless here, Ian, but a bright start from the visitors, Stoke City. 2 good chances for them. James McLean with a snapshot on the volley at the back post. Villa's keeper, Orlan Nyland's instinctive save tipped it over the bar. And just before that, Joe Allen, a close range effort, also well saved by Nyland, but it's Aston Villa 0, Stoke 0.
Mention Manchester City beat Everton by 3-1 in League One. The early game, Doncaster Rovers beat Scunthorpe by 3-0. We'll stay in South Yorkshire as we go to Oakwell and Dan McCarthy.
Barnsley 0, Portsmouth 0, a chance apiece so far. A long goal kick from Adam Davies, flicked on by Kiefer Moore. Brad Potts' double effort was saved by McGilvery, but down the other end, Lowe's cross to the back post, found Oliver Hawkins, his header across, couldn't find any of his teammates. Barnsley 0, Portsmouth 0.
At Priestfield, Gillingham 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2, as Gareth Ainsworth's side increase their advantage. Not much is happening at Wembley, it's still 0-0. Burnley with Long will go back to the back pass with Joe Hart, who'll put his right foot through that. Davis will beat Barnes in the air. Burnley knock it over the top from Cork, and Danny Rose will tidy this one up, so it remains goalless. Huddersfield Newcastle, Juliet Farrington.
Good tempo, 0-0, but Huddersfield going close on 3 separate occasions now. They are the better team in this first half. Departure from a corner over the bar. Chris Luber couldn't control his shot on the half volley, and Phil Billings' free kick tipped over the bar by Dubravka in the Newcastle goal. It's Huddersfield 0, Newcastle 0.
Well, we're approaching the midway point of this first half, and Burnley really have restricted Tottenham to very few opportunities, as Tottenham now with Lucas out towards Rose. He attacks from left back, up against Barnsley, sends over the cross. Waiting was Trippier, heads it into the penalty area, came with his back to goal, tries to turn, wouldn't quite drop towards Dele Alli, and then Burnley through Brady, pump it long, and Alderweireld will see it back towards Lloris. But Tottenham are finding it hard to create opportunities, Nigel.
Yeah, Burnley are limiting the chances that Tottenham are creating. You know, they're playing really well, tight and compact. But on the other hand, you know, with Burnley, when they break and when they do get possession of the ball, they have to show better quality. You know, they have to find a way to get up there in Tottenham's half and keep possession for a while to create chances for themselves.
Nigel Reo-Coker, who's with us here on 5 Live. We are midway through the first half on this Saturday afternoon, and tomorrow, well, we've got 2 live commentaries for you after the Premier League debate with the squad at 12. We've got Southampton against Arsenal at 1:30, followed by Liverpool against Manchester United from 4, as Dele Alli Can't turn away from Tarkowski, being helped out by Westwood, and then Barnsley will chip it up towards the halfway line, but Davis will get there before Barnes and heads it out of play for a throw. And of course tomorrow night is BBC Sports Personality of the Year, and John Inverdale will be backstage talking to all the winners, and our coverage starts at 7:15, but of course it is on BBC One as well, as Hull City have now got a second goal against Brentford, so Hull City now lead Brentford 2-0 in the Championship. In the Premier League though, Watford are 1-0
Saw the pass coming and
up against Cardiff. Wolves lead Bournemouth at Molineux. Huddersfield Newcastle, as we've just heard from Jules, is goalless. Crystal Palace and Leicester City is also 0-0 as it is here. Taylor plays it downfield, little flick inside by Brady. Alderweireld will deal with that, and then with Trippier, and Trippier goes back to Hugo Lloris, the Tottenham captain, to Davis, forward. Skip just outside his penalty area. Burnley put the high press there on Tottenham, but they've got away with it, as Danny Rose eventually will get a throw from Aaron Lennon. But Burnley not afraid to venture forward.
No, definitely not. I think they definitely want to put the high press on. They want to play on the front foot. The only difficult thing at the moment, I think, with Burnley, what they need to improve on is keeping possession in Tottenham's half. It's all good getting out. You don't want to spend 90 minutes defending and without the ball. It's very difficult to do, especially with a team like Tottenham, the quality that they have.
They go long, little flick as he runs into the penalty area by Dele Alli towards Harry Kane. Goes into a challenge with Tarkowski. Referee Graham Scott waves away the Tottenham penalty appeals.
Harry Kane seems to believe that was definitely a penalty.
I've got to say, I mean, it's away from us on that right-hand side. It just looked like a coming together.
Yeah, it was a very strong and firm tackle, but it was a tackle with intent.
Danny Rose to Lamela. Where this game is going, it might make the edited highlights on Match of the Day tonight at 10:20. You can see it for yourself on BBC One. Sissoko makes a good run into the penalty area. There's the cutback, and Lucas couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. One of the rare times where Tottenham have got round the back of the Burnley defence. It was Sissoko who made the bursting run. Lucas curls the ball in. Harry Kane's header. It's not going to go out of play. Lamela was alive to keeping it in play. Here is Lamela on the left-hand side. Tottenham are upping the tempo. Lamela with a cross. Burnley is stretched at the moment. Brady's header is going to come as far as Ali. With his back to goal, he turns. Skip now, the 18-year-old, making his first start in the Premier League. And Tottenham keep possession. Just starting to turn the screw a bit.
Yes, definitely. Again, from the man of the moment, Sissoko. It was a great deep run from midfield to create the chance to get a ball in the box, and he was just unlucky with his touch.
Rose first time cross from the left hand side, drops inside the penalty area, nobody able to meet it, and Burnley will clear at Roots Hall. Chris Powell, Southend United have got a second goal against Accrington Stanley. They now lead by 2-0. The Tottenham crowd are urging Spurs to come forward, and this is young Oliver Skip. Plays a short diagonal ball, gets it back from Lucas. Infield finds Lamela, Lucas and Dele Alli, the three of them all combined. Comes back to Lucas, very again congested. Burnley have everybody back behind the ball by Barnes. It's dropped into the feet of Harry Kane, but once again Burnley will clear. Barnes is the outlet, then go through his own half, and Barnes tries to switch play from right to left, but Trippier was there, and it's going to come back at Burnley once more. We've been playing for 26 minutes, and it's with Lamela. Out to Trippier, the former Burnley player, midway through the Burnley half. Lamela makes the run right-hand side of the penalty area, and Burnley will try and come away, but Tottenham will get a throw level the penalty area on the right.
Again, from a tactical point of view, it might not be pleasing to the eye, but you know the way Burnley are defending in this game is great. You know, it's great football. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of skill, and also a lot of concentration to be like this. But again, you know, you're playing Tottenham and you need to do this, but for 90 minutes it's going to be difficult.
It was a sharp turn from Dele Alli, got his shot away off his right foot, it was blocked. Burnley again try and bring out that defence to about 25 yards out from goal as the ball is switched to Danny Rose. His header in field is now picked up by Lennon. Plays it a little bit behind Jack Cork, who takes a tumble inside the centre circle, and that'll be respite for Burnley as Grimsby Town leads Swindon Town by 1-0 in League 2 at Blundell Park. Grimsby 1, Swindon 0. Swindon have been on a good run of form since Richie Wellens took charge, and in fact Paul Jewell this week announced as their new director of football as well. The two were briefly together at Oldham when Richie was there at Boundary Park, but Burnley will be just glad of a little bit of a breather, I would imagine.
Yeah, they'll be happy now to get in Spurs' half.
And his Hart will take that free kick from the centre circle into the penalty area.
I saw an elbow there. I saw an elbow thrown there.
Tarkowski went down under a challenge from Alderweireld inside the penalty area, and Tarkowski has stayed down. Well, if we had VAR, we might well have a situation here. As it is, the referee has stopped play. It was. They're showing us a replay of the Tarkowski and Kane one from earlier on. They haven't had a chance to show us a game with Tarkowski and Alderweireld. Meanwhile, where shall we go to now? Wolves, Pat Murphy at Molineux.
Just as you came here, lovely pass from Neves, cut out on the way to Johnny, who's drawing a bead on that one, but a good tackle at the other end. Stanislav's good turn and shot over the bars. Good game. Wolves 1, Bournemouth 0.
Is it a good game? Huddersfield, Newcastle, Juliet Farrington.
For once it is. Huddersfield on top as well. 0-0. Low billing forcing Martin Dubravka to tip over his free kick over the bar for a corner. It was a real good effort, that one. De Poitre and Lerver having opportunities as well. De Poitre really should have done better though from 8 yards out early on. Few glimpses from Newcastle at the other end. It's Huddersfield 0, Newcastle 0.
Rose is on the attack for Tottenham. Harry Kane now takes over, tries to switch play. That'll be intercepted though by Taylor, the left wing back for Burnley. It's still 0-0. Now if there was one man who wanted a good game to try and take his mind off the weather, it's John Southall.
It's awful. Palace 0, Leicester City 0. Leicester have had the ball in the net. Jamie Vardy, there was a foul on Vicente Guaita in the Palace goal on his debut, ruled out. Jordan Ayew clipped the ball onto the roof of the net from an acute angle. And they've just been giving the ball away too often, both sides, lacking in quality. Palace 0, Leicester 0. At least it's not cold.
Well, it's certainly not cold here at Wembley in our box. Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 1, Grimsby 1, Swindon 1. So Swindon have just equalised. Watford, Cardiff City, Vicky Sparks.
Well, Watford still lead 1-0, although Callum Patterson has just nodded a header wide for Cardiff. Delafeo with the goal for Watford. Lovely individual goal after 16 minutes. They've just had 3 corners in quick succession but couldn't make the most of them. So it remains Watford 1, Cardiff 0.
It continues to rain here at Wembley. Is a cold afternoon and a wet afternoon, and it's a scoreless afternoon at the moment as it's still 0-0 here with nearly half an hour played. Lennon, Tottenham made 5 changes from the side that played Barcelona in midweek. As the cross comes in, Brady tries for the acrobatics with the left foot, and a high boot been penalised. Quick free kick is taken. Tottenham on the attack. Lamela to Harry Kane. Good vision to pick out Sissoko. Sissoko finds Lamela. Lamela tries to prod it goalwards. Good block, smothering save by Joe Hart. Whether Sissoko intended to pick out Lamela, only he will know. But Joe Hart in the end was equal to it.
What a fantastic break by Tottenham there. 4 passes from their half gets them into a goal-scoring opportunity. Lamela's touch let him down there at the vital moment. Well, that would have been a fantastic goal.
It was Hart making the save on Lamela. It was that little bit of space that they haven't been afforded by this Burnley side from the quick free kick as Burnley will come forward. They're certainly not parking the bus at the minute, Burnley, as Lennon stands over the cross into the penalty area. Trippier was tucked in to head the ball away, picked up by Cork, lays it out towards me. And Burnley now will come into the Tottenham half as Oxford United lead Blackpool by 1-0 at the Kassam Stadium.
All the great work Burnley has done, I think Tottenham just showed them there the quality they possess and what they can do. And that's what Tottenham can do, giving them time and space, and if they get to exploit the space that you leave them behind.
And earlier as well, Nigel, you talked about the concentration required by these Burnley players. If there is just a momentarily lapse in that concentration, Tottenham will punish you.
Yes, they'll take advantage of it. You know, from a Tottenham's perspective, this is a game that they have to win today. To stay in the title race, to stay as title contenders, this is the result that they have to get today. You know, coming back from obviously a great result midweek, this is a game that they definitely need to win.
Well, they are 8 points behind the new leaders, Manchester City, who beat Everton 3-1 at the Etihad earlier. As Long will clear up towards Barnes, taken over now by Westwood on this near side, the right, and Westwood will turn. He'll look for some support. Behind him is Aaron Lennon, tries to nick it inside back towards Westwood. Dele Alli though finds Harry Kane, and just inside the Burnley half, Harry Kane opens up his body and switches play across towards the right hand side. 32 minutes played and it's still 0-0. Tottenham, white shirts, navy shorts. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. Danny Rose on this near side. Behind him, pointing, shouting, is Sean Dyche. Maurizio Pochettino, arms folded. woolly hat on, his raincoat getting absolutely soaked there on the edge of his technical area. His side have seen a lot of the ball, but just can't find the openings to prise open this Burnley defence. As Sissoko makes a run on the right-hand side, tries to come away from Brady, snapping at his heels, and Burnley will clear. Can they get it up towards Barnes? No. Davies, playing as a central defender, steps forward, joins the attack, continues his run. Good defending once again. This time it was by Long. And that back three at the minute for Burnley are knitting things together and continue to thwart this Tottenham side.
Yes, Burnley really are overloading the middle of the pitch, which is making it very difficult for Tottenham and their style of play and how they like to play. Burnley seem very comfortable and happy for Tottenham to go wide, and they're still dealing with the problem. You know, they're getting out there wide as the ball is switched.
St Mirren 0, Aberdeen 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Macclesfield Town, bottom of the Football League. Sol Campbell's first home game, and they're leading Crawley Town by 1-0. And Oldham have now got a third against Bury, also in League 2. 0-0 at Wembley Stadium. Here is Danny Rose on the near side, the left. Remember, Wolves still lead Bournemouth 1-0. Watford are 1-0 up against Cardiff. No goals either at Crystal Palace, Leicester or Huddersfield, Newcastle.
I thought you said there were goals guaranteed when we watched Tottenham.
Well, yeah, and I also, when I trotted out that stat, I said that was the curse of the commentator. The fact that there hasn't been a draw with Tottenham in the top flight this season.
So if there's no goals in this game, I can blame you too.
You can blame me, Nigel, yeah. And those bags of wine gums and jelly babies that you brought me, I'll let you take them back to your family home tonight. But if there is a goal, then I'm going to snaffle them. Here is Alderweireld on the halfway line for Tottenham. Ball chipped forward, Lamella's made the run, and Lamella just tried to stab it in towards Lucas. Tottenham though have won it back once again. Harry Kane dropping deep, curls this ball in towards Dele Alli, and he's tried a right-footed shot on